like 165 now. He's trying to gain weight.
So he's juicing.
And yeah, but I go like this. Maurice Smith and all those guys are sitting there, and I go, you know, you're gonna have to be careful walking around the gym barefoot. You might stab yourself with one of them syringes. And Maurice lost it. Maurice was rolling. I go, you're gonna be trying to put some
how old
size
are you?
on. 23. No problem.
Yeah.
You know.
That's awesome.
You're gonna have
excited?
syringes hanging
Yeah.
out of your
Have you ever fought?
and everybody was rolling, you know. And he goes, how is Matt doing? And I go,
Yeah. How's it feel?
I go, Hallman better weigh about
How
210.
you feeling before the fight and stuff, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I don't care. Always before the
Where'd
fight.
Bobby's moving out?
What's that?
Always before the fight. While before. No problem. It'll be fun. Excited.
I'm wondering what you think about me going to Coldwater, Michigan to train with Dan Severn. And I go, Bobby, do what you got to clear to Monty.
Well,
Monty's going to have to know that right away.
I'm kind of.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know, the thing that, the only reason he's coming, the only reason I said yes, is because he's such a nice kid.
Yeah, and he wants to learn. I think. I think
That's
he's.
the only reason. That's the only reason.
But yeah, I think Monty sees.
Yeah,
A lot of
but
time.
unless I don't see there's any threat to obviously you guys.
Yeah.
You're a sexy devil in pink.
You know, some
You know how
people
that
just
story
have
started,
it.
right?
What?
Do you know the pink story? How it started?
Something about a clitoris.
No, tell him.
You tell them.
Tell him. 1955? 1955? 1955 at the judo championships in Japan, they took his gi out and washed it with a pair of red socks and gave it back to me. He had to compete in the pink gi. Now,
Did he win?
They knew I was a screaming fag.
they still couldn't beat.
Hey, were you the bartender in the movie with Bruce Willis and, you know, in the nightclub? When she gets drunk?
Probably.
He's been in so many movies.
Did he get hurt?
Since I met him, I've seen him in so many movies and old movies too.
But you've never seen me win.
Did you? Never win. Did you ever see Wild Wild West?
Yeah.
You're on every
Rush
episode,
Hour.
every episode in Wild Wild West.
Most of the things when you're turning over cars or crashing things, you don't see him. He's a stuntman also.
Yeah. That's how you get knocked out in like 12 seconds.
Well, we stretched it. But you know the funniest part about that?
What?
He really thinks he could beat me
Oh, yeah.
after that. Who? Tuxedo. He's coming to the show.
Is he? Is there going to be a lot of people at this show, you think?
There's a lot of people that I invited.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
You invited a guy
Not me.
from
He did it.
Maxim magazine.
I did it.
Your buddy, the writer. He's a writer from New York City. Last time.
Uh-huh.
Did he ever tell you the story about how he got home?
No.
You dropped him off at the end. I guess when you dropped him off after the event. Him and his wife, blonde hair. You know what I'm talking about? Real skinny guy.
Yeah,
Right.
tall guy.
Yeah. He was leaving the UFC in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And didn't have decided he was going to walk back to the French Quarter. I guess they had taken a taxi over, not realizing that they're about to go through a real bad neighborhood.
Right.
And they walk with all their camera equipment. So I walk into Domino's. He comes walking, and I had one of the UFC passes. And he comes walking back out, and he says, "Oh, the UFC." And I said, "Yeah." And so I said hi to him, started talking to him. You know, we were on our way out, and he's like, "Yeah, I was trying to catch a cab. I guess we're just gonna walk." And remember how hot it was?
There's also a murder right down the street.
I said to him, "Wait a minute." I said, "You're gonna walk from here to the French Quarter?"
Across
He goes,
the
"Oh
projects?"
yeah." I said, "Do you have any idea what's between here and the French Quarter?" So I said, "The projects."
The projects.
Right.
The number one murder
Anyway,
rate
so
in the United
anyways,
States
long story
happens
short,
there.
long story
Where's
short.
that?
The projects in
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
In New Orleans?
Highest murder rate now.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah. It's an application. Tell him he's a fighter. Yeah.
Have you seen any of it?
Don't find out. We'll do it tomorrow morning.
This more. I thought you did that in. You know, I wasn't.
That's what I was going to drive off.
Somewhat of a hiatus, but there were some people who you dubbed.
Huh?
All that can find them all. University of
It's
Washington.
all right.
It's all right.
Hey guys, it's Josh Barnett. Is he here?
Right here, sir.
Okay, can you come up?
Sure.
I'm just friendly, Mark.
Want it tomorrow morning before the women take to get insurance up front. He gave it to us. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Where's Josh? Thank you, sir. Okay, why don't you come right down here, okay? Okay. Did you fill out an application already?
Yes, sir.
You did?
I got it.
They're over there on the table. Can you give her a ticket?
He's got it. Oh. Seattle, Washington.
You were born where?
Seattle, Washington.
So you're not going to put the knockout in practice?
I forgot about it. You must have knocked me silly.
That's what they're asking for, right? Yeah, you suffered it's for any medical point. Longest duration of unconsciousness is past 10 minutes, so you don't remember anymore. That's okay. We told you it's just because I fell asleep numerous times.
From what I heard, Jeremy took him down and exposed my mind. Legitimate.
It's okay.
I wonder why my pants got out of my ankle.
The last thing we're about to call this thing, call the cab.
No, it's not Frame's rules, man. He ain't gonna put a big fine.
Hey. So you have to go up with all of us.
I could handle myself. Yeah.
You need three passes.
3 what? 3 passes. What do you mean?
You got 3 passes.
Do they put makeup on your nose for the headshot and everything to make it look good?
You can tell. They said it was
Are you
the most
serious?
vicious ringworm he's ever had. I got you, didn't I?
From like big meat on me. Don over. Dan Henderson. He should be on foot.
So I need to grab.
I wanted to die. I wanted to die. No. And then they came, and then the quick fight in. I'm like, I can't believe this is drag my name. Bro, they're all real. I know, man. Those are all real. Stupid? It's like 5.5. Oh, so bad. So bad. That's so bad. I had to go and take a shower right away. I want to go.
We just need to get our
Yeah, he just asked for the finals, but that's why we're going to get you a piece of paper.
Did you already send your stuff in?
What's that? Of course, man. My hand
On the ball? Are you done, sir, Mr. Coleman? Now we can just tell by you. You just have to take your teeth out and walk around when you're with it.
Hey, that was a nice picture on the internet. Yeah, it was nice. You?
With my teeth out?
Yeah.
Oh, you think that's funny? Yeah.
We gotta get new ones.
Are we reading the paper?
Do we want to do this? Do we want to do this? He'll smile.
I want to do what it did. Go right to
Exactly.
Oh, with your mouth out.
Do it.
Now you
Come on.
know teeth on all.
Come on.
Do it.
Come on, smile, man. Wait, let me just dip the camera a little bit.
No loot this time.
You tried to fool me. Keep turning it. I know.
James Wormley, one of the more professional wrestlers in the match. He's hot.
You know, it's one thing to be slighted money, another thing to be slighted.
I go, so I said, so you getting out after this? And he's like, fuck no. You know, he's in it. I said, hey, you know, he's got too much invested in this shit. He's got to take over.
Hey, what do you think of this Taj Mahal thing? This is the first time UFC ever done anything like this, huh? Yeah, it is.
We was here 4 years ago, man. New York, Buffalo. And this, right about now, they told us all to go to our room. Fight 7 next day. Mywoods came in and said, we're shut down. Everybody go to your room, we'll give you instructions when we got them. And he went out, chartered a plane. Packed everybody up about 9 o'clock. He was there, right? Flew to Alabama.
Shit.
Got in about 3 in the morning, and then we had to drive 2 more hours to the city. Check in the hotel, 6. And they had us out by 12 because they didn't want to pay us 2 days. I think, I don't remember that part. Pretty sure. They had us out by 12. You're out of here? Huh? Well, you're allowed to go. Make sure, hey, just ask Paul, man.
Nice to meet you. Welcome, gentlemen.
Jeff, most of you,
Twisted my arm.
Still working on it. You know me too well. You never remember. He's got little ankles, that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
What's that?
he's mad.
I know, but you know.
Oh, kickboxers. Every other month. What kind of shit is that? And Eddie wrote in the paper. I was in there every month. Right, Ed? Right. This month there's no comment.
I've been, next week. You're gonna be in the corner? Yeah. Okay, you gotta have a second right there. All right. So did you hand it to this young lady? She hasn't come. Okay, just let her know, okay, so she can mark it, sign it. All that is.
You don't take cash? I had to light a match to get it. You don't take cash? Or you take credit card?
Sit tight. All right? On.
You're producing right now. Things are money is much greater.
Finally, somebody older. Yeah, I'm happy. Huh?
Do you think the weight's gonna
Okay. You wouldn't want to wear Jeff's clothes.
I just didn't know if you. I just didn't
Due date.
No, but
How you doing? Good to see you. We got two different ones.
How's that little tiny baby?
Two of them now, two little girls.
Awesome. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you get bored with it, I'll trade you mine for a spoon.
It's one thing, man. Never been knocked out. Bad I never did.
when you sit there.
Joke out there. Wake up.
in there.
It sucks, doesn't it? Wake up and go.
Good. How are you
I heard you say that. Yeah, we sent that in with our photos and everything.
We do well. So we love the all the licensing tonight. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Everybody goes on the scale.
And is that a rule or?
I sent his application, 1382. You got to notarize. They carried that here. They turned in all of which I did. One word.
Really? I thought it was you. Well, it must dry out till the winter. He said the guys are hungry, they're gonna starve.
73.
Gotta train a little harder. Take care of the left.
Wrestlers, we're used to that stuff.
Yeah, he used to it. He's not self-made.
He's just so. One way or the other.
October 16th.
Hey, Mr. Asper.
What's your record?
9-1.
Absolute. Color your trunks. I'm Marshall. You gotta certify him, he's fighting for the championship.
Yes. Monty Cox.
That's why they wanted to want him.
Jen's over.
He's coming. He's coming.
Second name, Matt Hughes.
John Lewis. Jen's for fellas.
He's coming.
Everybody's coming.
MIL.
John Lewis, Jen Falk.
ICH.
Where's John? Okay, John, you
Probably. Now, will the manager be able to come out with the three-quarter men?
What's your address?
That's Conway.
649.
Right? 6CONS.
49.
West. 61st.
Yeah.
Davenport.
That's a pretty scary entourage.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's
You guys like on the buddy system?
No, take it out of the camera.
We get Alex.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Oh, okay.
Sunnyside, Washington.
I like that all the time.
Second opportunity for us to have to host this form of combative competition. As you all know, I'm sure by now, this particular state happens to be a very, very major venue as far as combative sports is concerned, especially professional boxing. Mixed martial arts is a relatively new type of athletic competition, which I personally endorse. And I endorse it mainly because I'm very familiar with the martial arts. But this form of competition has not been accepted universally, well, I should say nationally. So since it hasn't been accepted nationally, it certainly hasn't been accepted universally. We are trying to move in that direction here in this country. And I am an advocate of it. And I'm an ally. However, I must take an opportunity to caution you and remind you that we are only interested in the highest levels of competition. Therefore, it's incumbent upon all of you, especially when you compete here in this state, to be in top-notch condition, because we will not tolerate any second-rate competition here. And it's good for the sport. So you should take it as a personal challenge to help to promote this sport, because we are in the infant stages. And the state of Nevada right now is considering giving you the opportunity to compete there. And much of that is dependent upon the report that they get from me here in New Jersey. Now, I want to remind you that our main goal and our mission is not for anyone to be getting hurt. It's to give you an opportunity to demonstrate and exhibit your skills, but our main goal is the health and safety of the combatants. That's why all of you know that you had to go through a pretty extensive battery of medical examinations in order to participate here in this state. And as long as you don't get knocked out, or as long as your bout is not stopped, those exams are good here for the rest of the year. Your license is good here for the year. Depending upon when you get your license, a year from now, you'll have to renew that. So you're all set, provided you don't get knocked out or you don't get stopped in a bout. Then you have to have certain examinations all over again. Now, I know that that's a pain in that, and it's a, I know that that's sometimes a little bit of a burden, but it's for your safety. It's for your safety. There's no other way around it. So I can't, I can't sympathize with you in that respect. But have respect for your sport. You are now professionals. Here in this state, we treat you like professionals. You will receive a license. You will receive identification. You should keep that on you. And you should conduct yourself as a professional athlete at all times. Now, while I'm on that subject, if you are a middleweight, a heavyweight, a lightweight, or whatever your weight class is, then you have to adjust your training regimen so that when you come in to weigh in, you don't have to be drying yourself out, not eating, starving yourself, and all this other nonsense, because what that does, it deprives your brain of the certain nutrients and etc., which is very crucial to your health. We weigh in this state, the morning of the event. The morning of the event. So your weigh-in is tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock because that's the day you're competing. We can't weigh you in a half hour before it. So the morning of the event is the closest we can get. So all this other nonsense about the night before, 36 hours, all of that's a bunch of crap. We try to get as close to the weight as possible. That's the fair way to do it. So I'm sorry. So the next time that you're fighting in New Jersey, you have to adjust your training regimen so that you don't have to starve yourself the night before. So anyone who has been inconvenienced because of that this time, I will apologize only because perhaps you didn't know. However, that's the rule here. So now, one more thing and you can go. In order for anyone to work in the corner, they must be licensed. So whenever you come here, you have to make sure that your cornerman, your manager, and everyone else has a license, or they have to give us the pertinent information so that we can do a background check. See, because you signed a waiver that allows us now to send certain information to the state police who will check your background. So if anybody in here is wanted for murder or anything else, they're gonna come and lock you up between the next hour or so and tomorrow morning. I'm very serious. If you have any outstanding warrants, if you haven't been taking care of your children, and you have some outstanding warrants for child support and things of that nature, if you're wanted for armed robbery or anything, they are going to lock you up because they're going to get this information. So I'm telling you now, if that's the case, you better come and get your application and pull it out. And I'm being very honest with you. Fighters get locked up all the time. Usually it's for things like child care and things of that nature. So I'm being very honest. Because every time you come here to New Jersey, when you take out a license, you sign that waiver that permits us to do a background check. So there it is. I've given it all to you on the line. You know what we expect. And tomorrow night, I want to wish everybody good luck. We know that there's going to be some losers. There may be, it's going to be some winners. But if everyone performs at the top of their game, everybody wins. Everybody wins for ultimate fighting or mixed martial arts. Okay, and if there's any questions, I'll take them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Larry Adams.
So I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Okay, we still need the officials, so the officials shouldn't leave.
Judges?
Okay, that's fine.
Are you referring to the judges?
Yeah, we have judges and we have referees.
Taj Mahal, UFC 28. And at this time, I would like to thank the New Jersey Athletic Commission for allowing the UFC to come to this fine state and for you fighters to have a chance to perform and demonstrate your skills. I think it's potentially a great thing for mixed martial arts here in the country if the UFC can have a great show here in Atlantic City. At this point in time, I would like to introduce Mr. Bob Meyerowitz. Bob would like to welcome you himself. Bob, of course, the president of SEG and the founder of the UFC.
Well, here we are. It's been a very, someone said to me, how long did it take you to get here? I think 6 years. It is a pleasure to be here. There are so many people in this room to thank. First, I'd like to welcome all of the fighters who have come here to wish you all the very best of luck, a very, very safe and successful event tomorrow night. Then I would like to thank a lot of people because, as I say, this has been a very long road to get here. First of all, I have to thank Commissioner Hazard, who has been just terrific for us. From his office, Sylvester Kyler, Rhonda Utley-Herring, who has been there whenever we needed her, and I thank you. It is a great thing for all of us to be here. Tomorrow night, I am happy to say you're going to go into one of the most famous rooms in, as Larry said, in combative sports. And in that room, I'm happy to say you're going to see a sold-out audience. So it's going to be a major night tomorrow night. I would really like to thank John Peretti, our great matchmaker, who's done a great job. He's put together so many great cards for us. Tomorrow night is just going to be something that many years ago when we started the UFC, we said it's something we would pay to see. Tomorrow night is one of those we would really pay to see. We have a lot of people, as I say, to thank, from the SEG staff, James Wormy, who takes care of just about everything that needs to be done. And even as I say that, is out there doing something. Carol Klemfner, who makes sure that we get all the publicity we deserve. Maria Echevarria, who makes sure that I am where I am supposed to be and everything else works. Paula Romero, who takes care of everything the fighters need. Stephen Loeb, who makes sure everybody sooner or later gets paid. Joe Silva, who makes sure that everything our announcers say is correct, is intelligent, and it sort of works. Joe, thank you. Jeff Blatnick, who is just does so much for all of us, I can't thank enough. A man you're going to meet shortly, and who has been my friend and a real, such an important part of everything we have done, almost from day one, John McCarthy. A man whose introduction, I think, here in the state of New Jersey changes. Here it's just Richard Istrico. Again, it is a great, great moment for all of us. We are in the boxing capital of the United States, and we are all here to show everybody just how good our sport is. Commissioner Hazard said it very well, very succinctly, but I feel it has to be repeated. Tomorrow night, this is a showcase not only for yourselves, but for your sport. We've all worked very hard to get here. Let's make sure we give everybody a great show and something we can be proud of. Thank you very much.
From the fighters, managers, and trainers, we want to thank you for holding everything together.
The chair recognizes Phyllis Lee. I too would like to thank Maria, James, Paula, and Joe for your ever helpful demeanor and continuing to get this done. John, the matchmaker, and you too. John Peretti, our matchmaker. Bruce Buffer, who will be the voice in the Octagon tomorrow. So if you have a name and you want it pronounced correctly, please, Bruce would be more than happy to talk to you to make sure that gets done. And then, of course, my colleague, play-by-play, his name is Mike Goldberg. Of course, our two referees, Big John McCarthy and Mario Yamasaki. Cut man, when he gets here, will be Leon Tabbs. Of course, he's be the one that will be taping your knuckles, and of course, John will be checking the tape because Leon signs it to make sure it's done properly. And of course, our doctor has been here at every single one of these, Dr. Richard Istrico. All right, I think that'll take us up to this point in time. I'd like to introduce Mr. John Peretti, who will introduce the fighters.
Okay, I always say it, but I'll say it again. I am just so proud of the talent that we have here today, and I really appreciate you guys being here. And I'm really sorry about the confusion, if there was any, about weighing in. I take full responsibility for that. And I'd like to introduce these fighters. New to the Octagon, Mr. Ben Earwood. Please stand up when I call your name. Welcome, Ben. And against Chris Lytle. Welcome, Chris. And a new addition to the wrestling mania that's going on in the sport is Mark Hughes.
Hey, Mark!
The supposedly stronger brother of Matthew. Should be legal. Against Alex Steidling. Did I say that right? And our bantamweight bout for this evening is a great, great match. And John Lewis wanted it, and he got it. John Lewis. Everybody knows John goes way back in this sport. Against a fair newcomer, the discovery from Denver, Ken Shamrock. And next I'd like to introduce Jeff Monson, the 1999 Abu Dhabi champion. Suffering down from 224 to 199 against our veteran, Chuck Liddell. Stand up, Chuck. Stand up and be recognized. And a great fight for tonight is Marco Huas's Babalu. Tomorrow, against the veteran and multi-champion, Maurice Smith. And my newest discovery here is someone that no one knows, Andre Orlovsky. Look forward to seeing his performance against a guy that's been around and is doing really well, and we welcome him, with open arms, Aaron Brink. Mullinax, Tony. And the big guy tonight, Dan McGee. Coming off the victory in the IFC against Pancration Zone, Josh Barnett. And then, of course, we have our main event in the World Heavyweight Championship, the UFC, and this looks like a good one. Randy Couture coming back undefeated versus our current champion, Kevin Rambleman. He's upstairs. I think that's Card. We'll show up.
Thank you, John. Fighters, it's very important you understand not only will you be being evaluated by the New Jersey Commission, both in your fighting performances and around the Octagon and here around the Taj Mahal, but there'll be three gentlemen evaluating your fighting in terms of scoring. Our three judges for this contest, UFC 28, will be veteran Tony Mullinax, somebody I don't know if you've ever heard of before, but his name is Mean Gene LaBelle. Has anybody given him any grief about the color of that shirt, or are we all just a little too afraid to do that? Break a leg tomorrow. Good luck. And of course, Mr. Douglas Crosby. Over here. And just as a prelude, the weigh-ins are tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. Probably almost done with that list. I can go ahead and announce that. In addition, don't forget tomorrow, the weigh-ins will be here in this room. The scale is over in the current boardroom, and that's the one that we'll be bringing over. So anyone that checked their weight on that scale earlier, if you did, I don't know if any of you did or not, but that is the scale that we are going to be using. Once again, the only other variance, and I tried to get to as many of you prior to this meeting as possible, the only rule difference here in New Jersey that is outside of our MAC manual, our MMAC manual, will be under the heading of kneeing. You will be allowed to knee while in the standing position. You will not, I repeat, you will not be able to use a knee as a weapon or a striking force while on the ground. Just like the kicking rule. You're not allowed to kick a down fighter 3 points, 2 feet in the hand, on your knees, on an elbow. That is considered a grounded fighter. So likewise, with a knee, you are not allowed to strike a grounded fighter. However, just like a down fighter, you are allowed to kick the standing fighter. Thus, if you can bring your knee to bear against the standing fighter, so be it. You can go ahead and use it. Other than that, all of our rules are intact the way they were. There was one other concern we had with a fight several UFCs ago, and that was in regarding to fines. Once fines became a penalty point in our scoring system, it was felt that that is a double jeopardy against the fighter. Not only are you penalized in the scoring and can lose the fight, but you were also fined on top of it. Initially in the UFC, there was no scoring system where you were penalized a point. Thus, the only way we could curb and at least penalize flagrant foul, any kind of foul, was through monetary fines. Because now the scoring system is affected by fouls, many of them will no longer, particularly the striking fouls, unless it's done flagrantly in an unsportsmanlike way, will not garner a fine. If you do it in an unsportsmanlike way deliberately, or it is deemed that way by our referees, you not only can get fined, you can get disqualified. So that doesn't change. Corner interference, those kinds of things, they can also bring a fine since there's no way that we can curb their behavior. Please, we've never had a problem with the corner fight. I don't anticipate anything like that happening here. But I think it's important that you understand we have removed the double jeopardy from the fighter. Now when you are hit with a foul, it is not going to cost you money. It is going to cost you in your scoring of the fight. And I think that's probably a little bit better line for all of you. All right, doctor's physicals tomorrow. Mr. Mark Coleman, please listen at 10 a.m. It is Kevin Randleman. Do we know where these physicals will be? They are here in the Emerald Room. It is the New Jersey Commission, I believe, whose doctors will be doing the physicals. Is that correct? Yes, they'll be doing the examinations. Doc, will you be here watching? That's part of the way. Okay, are these your doctor physicals, doctors? Okay, all right, so here, these will be taking place here in this room. At 10 a.m., Kevin Randleman. At 10:15, Andre Orlovsky. At 10:30, Babalu. At 10:45, Josh Barnett. At 11 o'clock, Mark Hughes. At 11:15, Mr. Earwood.
All fighters get examined in the morning at the weigh.
Here we go. We just found out. Everybody at 8 o'clock, you're going to get your physicals right then and there.
By 9 o'clock, everybody's finished. That's it.
At 9 o'clock, you're free for the rest of the day, except how you go through your pre-fight goings. Okay, that's last miscommunication I hope we have with you. You will get your physicals at 8 o'clock. Hopefully then the rest of the day is yours.
And you also get a physical to come out of the ring.
And you will be looked at after the ring, which is something you're used to. We do that too. We do the triage. Okay, so is there any questions involving the logistics of tomorrow in any way that any of you folks have? Nobody? All right, well, I'd like to wish you all a very safe fight. I'd like to turn the microphone over now to our referee, Mr. John McCarthy. He will walk you through the basics concerning what you can wear, what you can do, and how you should conduct yourselves in the Octagon. Thank you very much.
Again, I'll try to go through this as quick as I can. Welcome to everybody, all the new people that are here. If you have a question, you're not sure of anything that I'm saying, stop me, ask me, so you know exactly what is expected of you or what is allowed. I'm going to go over your equipment first. Everybody that comes in here, make sure that you have your mouthpiece and your groin protector. It's mandatory for the fight. If you want to wrap your hands, we'll have Leon tabs here to wrap your hands in the legal way that we do it. It can go over the knuckles now, and he will be the person that will tape your hands. He will mark it once he tapes it, and I will look at it to make sure it was taped by Leon. Shoes. If you choose to wear a wrestling shoe in the ring, that's fine. I will look at it, tell if it is a shoe that you're allowed to kick with, but the shoe laces must be taped, and they must be taped all the way around the ankle. You don't want the tape just going over a little bit of laces. The shoelaces must be taped in a fashion where the laces cannot come undone during the fight. When it comes to the clothes you're wearing, you can wear anything you want as far as a short type material, any of the normal fighting shorts, such as full contact, tap out, or rage, or any of those types of fighting shorts are allowed. If you have something that's unusual, bring it to me. I'll take a look at it and tell you if it's allowed. You can wear a gi if you like. The one difference with the gi or the shorts is if you wear gi pants, the fighter is allowed to hold on to your gi pants. If you wear the shorts, the fighter is not allowed to hold on to the shorts to control your hips. I wonder where that one came from, huh, Pat? When it comes to, you're allowed to wear, if you want to wear a t-shirt, you're allowed to wear a t-shirt in the ring, and I don't know why you would. Gloves, if you have a different set of gloves than what we pass out, we have gloves here for everybody. The gloves we hand out are pre-approved gloves. If you have a glove that is of a different make you want, they're all the same gloves, you will use our gloves, and that is it. In accordance with Mr. Hazard. And that's fine. It is the glove that I will pass out to you, you will get the night of the fight. It will be the glove, it will be taped around the wrist once you get it. Ensure that it will not come undone during the fight. I'm going to go over fouls for the fight so everyone understands. Just go everything for the fighter. These are the fouls, not in any particular order, but going down the list. I've only said them, I don't know how many times, I should know them all by heart. Biting of any kind, no eye gouging of any kind, including, putting your chin into someone's eye socket, anything like that, that's gouging. Sticking an elbow into someone's eye socket, that's gouging. No eye gouging of any kind. No throat strikes of any kind. No fingers in your opponent's mouth, nose, or any type of orifice. Okay? Don't stick them in their ears and pull back on their ears. No intentional placing of the fingers into someone's cut if they're cut. The fighter you're going against receives a laceration, and the laceration, don't try to stick your finger into that laceration to increase the size of it. There's no hair pulling, there is no headbutting of any kind. You cannot use the head for any type of attack. That's head to head, head to torso, head to anything. Elbow strikes to the back of the head or neck are not allowed. What we consider the back of the head and neck is from the base of the neck where the spine is attached to the crown of the head, all the way, straight up and down. That's what we'll look at. If you are fighting your opponent and you start to give an elbow and they turn your head, I'm not going to consider that a foul upon you, but I will tell you to watch where your blows are connecting. Right? If you hear me tell you, watch your elbows or something like that, you're going to have to adjust where it's going to hit. There's no pressure points and no groin attacks of any kind. Again, like Jeff just said, there are no knees on the ground. Kneeing can only be done in a standing position here in New Jersey. No small joint manipulation and no kicking of a downed opponent. We go over the kicking of a downed opponent all the time. A downed opponent is someone who is not in a two-point position. That means standing. If they have any other part of their body on the ground besides just their feet, that's a downed opponent. You're not allowed to kick them. Is that understood? Good. Said it enough, so it shouldn't. You're not allowed to strike an opponent on the ground who's unable to defend themselves. The only reason we say that is in case, I happen to have my head placed firmly in a place it's not supposed to be, or the same with Mario, and we wouldn't think that he would do that. We don't get there quick enough for someone that you realize you have hurt your opponent and he's out. You don't strike him anymore. We should get there and stop the fight. If you realize that they're out, we'll strike your opponent. There's no spitting at an opponent. There's no holding onto the fence. Okay? I'm sorry. You have a question, John? Oh, John with the spitting rule? No. Oh, yeah, that's the John. Say that one. Only because it was a low fence, right? Yeah. I put it back on it for you. Come on. When we talk about holding the fence, look, I understand it's really easy once your hands go towards it to slip your fingers through. It's a natural thing. We're not going to sit there. If you go back to the fence and you put your hands on the fence, we're not going to say anything about it. It's when your hands go through and you start intentionally grabbing the fence to either hold on to your position or hold your opponent in that position. You're going to hear us tell you. We're going to give you a warning of let go of the fence. The one thing I'm telling you right now, if in the past Mario and I were very lax in giving fines because we didn't want to take money out of your pockets. There's no money involved. If you don't listen to anything we say, we will give you the foul. So once we tell you to let go of the fence, you better let go of it. If you continue to hold on to it, we're going to end up giving you the foul. Again, when it comes to the fouls, if you're talking about fouling your opponent, any of the fouls that we described, if you are in the midst of a fight and you are on top of your opponent and you commit a foul, we will stop the fight. We will put you to your corner, put your opponent to their corner. We will go to the judges, explain the foul, explain who's it's against, and then restart the fight. If you are underneath your opponent and you foul your opponent, we are not going to take your opponent out of that position that they've worked for. The fight will continue as it is in its stage, and we will call out that there's a foul, but until that fight gets to a point where the round ends, we're able to go to the judges, that fight will stay on the ground, so don't try to foul your opponent to get out of position. Again, no holding on to your opponent's shorts or trunks. You cannot fake an injury. Unwillingness to fight or timidity is one of the fouls that can constitute a fine. There is no lifting or throwing your opponent out of the octagon. Dumb thing to do, and it doesn't work well, and usually you eat a lot of punishment trying. Ask Tank Abbott. And no corner interference. If you're the corner person, we'll talk about grabbing the fence. Very simple. If the fight is away from you and it's not in your corner, I don't care if your hands are on the fence. If the fight comes to your area where you're at, and you are the corner person who's up on the apron, make sure that your hands stay off the fence so you don't interfere with the fight in any way. It's as simple as it gets. If you put your hands up there, we'll tell you one time, get your hands off the fence. If it happens again, you will get that fine. Any questions about any of the fouls?
What did you say about elbow strike?
Excuse me?
About elbow strike.
Elbow strikes are allowed in any of the standing positions or the ground positions except the back of the head or neck.
Okay.
Punching is allowed in any position. Understood? Okay.
Knee in a transition, someone shooting in.
If someone is shooting in and they are shooting in where they're coming in and it's a low shoot, as long as they're not on the ground, you can knee. All right? If they're coming down and their knee goes to the ground and they're trying to lift, you can't knee at that point. It's a downed opponent.
On the way in, Randy, not once.
Understand?
John, could you clarify shoe and kicking if you're wearing a shoe?
When it comes to your kun, we look. What we look for is the A6 split sole. We allow the split sole to be a shoe that you can kick with. If it doesn't have a split sole, there are some variances with Adidas has a type stuff that we will allow. Just take, if you have a shoe that you're not sure about, bring it to either myself or Mario. We'll look at it and tell you if it's a legal shoe to kick with. All right. If your opponent has a shoe that he's allowed to kick you with, we will tell you before the fight starts, your opponent can kick with those shoes, or we'll tell you your opponent cannot kick you with the shoes he's wearing. So you'll be clear of that. Okay, when the fighters come into the ring, a lot of the time when they come in, there's a lot of time that's spent. We have nothing to do with that. That's all the production that's going on. When you come up, if you're the first fighter into the octagon, there's a ramp. Everyone comes through the same door. If you're the first fighter, come in through that gate, go all the way across the other side. That's going to be your corner. If you're the second fighter, come in the gate and stay right where the gate's at. That's going to be your corner. Once you're introduced by Bruce Buffer and you're all that production stuff is over with, there's times when Mario or I will be standing there and the gate is closed and we're just standing there. It's not that we're trying to build up any anxiety or anything like that. We have to wait for a signal to start the fight. As soon as we're given that signal, we will come to the middle of the ring and we're going to ask you if you're ready. You got to give us some type of acknowledgement that you're ready, either a verbal sign, a verbal head, what did you say? A verbal saying, yes I am, or a nod of the head or something indicating that you're ready to go. Thank you very much.
I'm back.
You're there. You got to tell us that you're ready. Once you give us that, we're going to go to the other person. Once we get that from them, we're going to start the fight. once we start the fight, that's your time to showcase yourself and do everything you can. Just make sure that you protect yourself at all times. Don't consider yourself, you can relax anytime. Always protect yourself at all times. We're there to protect you, but you got to be conscious of protecting yourself during the entire fight. For entourages, as they come in, only people that are licensed can go down with the fighter to the octagon. Again, once you're there, only one person in that entourage can go up on the apron into that trainer-marked area and stay up there. Everybody else, if there's anybody besides that person, needs to stay down right below that person in that square. If you're the trainer up on top, I need you to have a towel with you in case you want Mario or I to stop the fight. If you feel your fighter cannot go on, take the towel and throw it at us so we can see it. Throw it at either Mario or I so we see the towel and we will stop the fight. When the entourages are with their fighters, if your fighter gets stopped during the fight, if the referee stops the fight, or if your fighter taps or anything, do not come into the octagon. We will allow you in there in a given amount of time, especially if your fighter is hurt and they're down. We like to bring the doctors in since they're the people that are knowledgeable in taking care of the fighter. Let them stabilize your fighter, let them take care of him, and with due time, once they've stabilized them, they will bring you in to assist your fighter. Again, after the fights, you will have a triage area that you must be checked out by the doctors. It's mandatory. You have no say on whether that happens or not. Any questions about anything? Okay, best of luck to everyone tomorrow night. See you there.
Thank you, John. Okay, does anyone have any questions? You know you're going to get your physicals tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and I think in a way this is kind of a blessing